Mark chapter 6, verse 26. Because yesterday we did 25. We did 45. Mark chapter 6, verse 46. And all of you that have given you Bibles, learn to be.
Mark chapter 6, verse 46.
Thank you, sir. So you have to connect it. Yes. First of all, you have to connect it to yesterday's message. It's the next. Remember that Jesus constrained, forced, use this modern language. He forced his disciples to go to Chosen. All right? If I didn't say it that way yesterday, that's what it means. He forced them into their boat. He forced them into the ship and kicked the ship off. That is forcing them to go to Chosen, forcing them into their ministry. Another thing that you need to know to understand your dreams, when you see yourself in a boat on the sea, it means you are entered into your ministry. Boat, anything that has to do with transport stands for ministry. Car, plane, bicycle, motor, boat. If you see yourself in any of these things, then God is telling you just enter. But beginners, they will see themselves on a boat. What is underneath the boat? What is underneath the boat? Water. Water is very unstable. So it tells you that you have started your ministry, but you are very unstable. Water also stands for last. So when you see yourself swimming in water, and you're almost like drowning, almost about, one of these days we'll go around and I'll collect everybody's dream and I'll tell you what it means. Okay? It's been a while since we did that. But when you have all these small codes, you'll be able to decode your own dream when you wake up. But because of satisfaction, after you feeding the 5,000 men yesterday, your belly has been full through this whole Christmas. So you are not having dreams. I can tell. You wake up in the morning, you don't remember your dreams. So the body is very heavy. After eating a whole cow, you know, how can you remember the dream? I mean, like, look at our director. Now, it just came. You know? So when your belly is full, you can't remember your dreams. But when you are starving, your body will give up the information. Yeah. That's not my message for today. We will get there another day. So remember yesterday that Jesus pushed the guys to go to Chosen, all right? And then he put them in a ship, not to walk. They started their ministry. They just started ministry by themselves. All the time you will hear that Jesus is in the boat with them, but this is the first time that they are on the boat by themselves. Your ministry, when you start, it will look like you're by yourself. A lot of stuff, you have to be the first person to take the first step, and then as you are taking steps, then bam! When you are facing trouble, God will show up. Amen. All right, I'm giving you too much of what I'm about to preach. So he pushed them. So yesterday we stopped at and straightway, if you are using King James, straightway means immediately, with force. And whose Bible says straight there? What does the Bible say?
And straight means constrain the disciple.
Okay, and then what does your Bible say? Mark chapter 6, verse 46 and 45. I'll just glance it, catching up. Just in case my camera people didn't get the topic yesterday, they didn't get the message yesterday. But this is Ghana. Even iPhone behaves differently in Ghana.
Okay.
It's amazing. The phones, they didn't behave differently. The moment they get to Africa, like, they attitude change. It's a spirit in the atmosphere. Yes, really louder. Immediately.
Get into the boat and go before him.
Sorry, what was the word he used? Immediately what?
Immediately
he made. That's it. You King James is nice. I want the one that says that he forced them by force. Constraint is force. Come on, Peter, get inside. John, get inside the boat. Get inside. A gentle leader doesn't want to lose his disciples. Hey, Marco, where are you going? Get inside. You never heard that before. Santo, boy, yeah. You ain't ready. Go, sir. Get inside. Constrain them. Get inside. Because you can sense as a leader that something is about to go wrong. And they don't let them come to the gate and say, oh, I also know this. I'll make a buy something for here. No. 2 steps from this house is dangerous. Because when God demarcates where you should be, and you are found outside of that land, you only see problems. Yes, sir. Amplify.
Jesus immediately insisted that
Inside.
the disciples get into the boat.
Insisted. That means whilst he's telling them, go to Chosen, he too is saying that I will come next week. He said, hey, go now. Go now. Insisted that he get into the boat. Start your ministry. Start working in your ministry. Start it here. Don't wait and you say when you get out there before you start your ministry must start here. We must know that this guy is going to be a powerful man of God from here, not when you're out there. Well, most of you know how to hustle on the bus. You know how to sound like a pastor. On the trotros, preach and sweat out of the sweat of the drugs, the residue of the drugs, and you are screaming on top of a voice. In Africa, anyone that is screaming is anointed. So when you are a gentle preacher who is making sense, they still don't feel you because you are not screaming. So they know how to get on the trotro and preach and quote scriptures. There are more preachers in the ghetto than on the street or in the churches. There are more preachers in the ghetto. When you see them you'll be like, yeah. They sweat genuine. Marco was a nice preacher on the oh, you didn't know that. Marco, you not told them. Oh, please, one day tell them. One day tell them. Preach powerfully. You'll be convinced even if you are going to church. Why should I go to church? I've just made a powerful. Give him your offering and you go back home. But your offering will tell you to smoke. Divine smoke. Okay, read, let's go. Or Felix, anyone. Oh, the King James is good for me. I just wanted them to see other translation. Yeah. Hey, and what? Get into the ship and to go to the other side before onto the center. Okay, the center. Side. While he said, so you go, I will do your work for you. You go. Go to the other side, opposite. Cross and go to the other side. So you will be sent with a direction. That's why some of you must believe that you are sent here. You are not doing an apostle a favor. No. Anytime somebody begins to think that they are doing me a favor, they lose the grace. I know. You wouldn't believe that. You are not here doing me favors. You are here to start your ministry.
Yeah.
It's not, because whatever you are doing here, God can send 100 more to come and do it. And they will do it better than you. But you must believe that you are here to begin your ministry. I began my ministry in New York, Barry Mission, a place like this, just like this. After spending years in church, I didn't know that God said to me, go to New York, go to that place. And the way I was, the whole thing was directed, the direction. God will not just send you without a direction. And everything I've learned there, that's what I'm doing here. That's how my ministry started. So God will send you. So God sent the disciples into the boat. Now we start today's message. 46. 46.
And when he had sent them away,
when he had sent them away,
he departed into the mountain to pray.
He departed into the mountain to pray. So leaders, when your guys are on the field doing the work, yesterday like this, whilst they are at Tema, And mommy called and asked, have you people seen the guy? And then once I was just there with mommy, and then the Holy Spirit told me that you have not done the one thing that you must do for them to find the guy, which is prayer. I said, oh snap, I've not prayed concerning this one. And then in front of mommy and the children, I just stood up and I lifted up my hands. I said, Father, wherever this boy is, arrest him, and you must arrest him first and help your people to locate him. It didn't take long, the Felix called. He said, we found him. So sorry, I'm the one who kept you people wandering through Kevin. Because as a leader, I have not prayed yet. No, you didn't get it. Yeah. So when he has sent the disciples away, then Jesus went to the mountain to go and pray. Because all of you are going to be leaders. Don't just send your people. While they are gone, your responsibility is to pray for them. While they are on the field. Because they won't understand anything. Now they might think that they went to all the ghettos and then later they found him. No. God superglued his leg at a certain place that he couldn't move. Even though that the addiction and everything was telling him, go, your people are coming for you. Some people are coming for you. But after the prayer went and God released the power, he was arrested down there, kept there. If you don't pray, nothing will happen. You must pray for something to happen. Huh? If you don't pray, nothing will happen. If you pray, you have already sent a text message. It's like a message you've sent. If you don't pray, you've not sent anything. You will not get any reply. Are you with me this morning? So don't say that, oh, this one, I shouldn't worry. God will fix it. No, pray. Just pray. So when he sent his disciples, he started praying. Yes.
And when evening was come, the ship.
So he sent them from the afternoon. Now the guys have been on the sea. Evening has come. That's why Madam is sleeping. He's not sleeping.
The ship was in the midst of the sea.
When darkness came, that's the word they want to use. When darkness came, the guys were in the middle of the sea.
And he alone on the land.
And he, Jesus, the Savior, the Lord himself, is on the land.
And he saw them toiling.
So he saw them toiling and rolling in the dark.
For the wind was contrary unto them.
And then there was another force that was against them, because they are going towards the direction that they have received. Go to Accra. But the devil knows that these people getting to Accra, they are going to experience something. So it is in the dark. They can't see their way. It's difficult to be in the middle of the sea, dark. It's a strange thing. I don't know how many of you have been on a vessel in the middle of the sea where you can go up and stand there and look on top of the sea. If you don't believe God, that's the way you should believe God. There's thick darkness. It's like darkness that you can grab with your hand. And no matter the size of your ship, you are like mantis. You look at, you say, God, the sea is bigger than the land. The sea is bigger than the land we walk on. Scary. And there are wild creatures in this thing. And these guys with their political boots in the midst of it. A small ministry, paddling, no motor, nothing. Should we give up and die? Should we just give up and jump into the ocean? Should we quit? Should we? They are in the middle of uncertainty. They don't know where they are going. They are dark. There's complete darkness, and not at the shore where they get tired. They say, "Let me just step down and walk backward." But in the middle of the sea, you can't step down. You step down, you will die. I pray that God will bring you far into your ministry, that you'll be in the middle of it, that you get to a point where you say that where I've reached now with God, if I stop, I'll die. Amen. Oh yeah. That would be a scary part. A scary part of it. Where you will understand that, Charlie, I've come too far. I've come too far. There's a song that says, I will not give up now. Come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me the road would be easy, but I don't believe He has brought me this far to leave me. That would be the song those guys will be singing now. In the midst of the ocean, in a boat. I've come too far to give up. Yesterday I told you something. Your sacrifices that you have laid, that you have offered to God, is what is going to compel you to keep pushing and keep pushing on. But if you have not given, there's no sacrifices, you can quit anytime. You can quit too. If you look at your work with God, you have not sacrificed. Me, when I said, what? For going to prison 3 times for preaching the gospel, I should stop where? I still believe this God. I'll continue. If it wasn't for those sacrifices, I would have quit it. Yeah. So your sacrifices. When I think about me kneeling down in public trains and getting insults from people, then the devil said, Charlie, you've done this thing and God is not blessing you. Why don't you just quit and become normal like everybody? Look for some job on the side. And then, even though God have told me that from this time, I want you to work for me. I've invested so much in you and I want you to work for me. And then from the day you get an instruction like that, people will be throwing all kinds of jobs at you. Yeah. All kinds of jobs will be coming towards your way. But then you have to hold on to what God has said. I remember one time, a friend called me. He said, Charlie, there's a good opportunity here. Come and let's do it together. It's cool money, cool money. So I told him, I said, hey, Charlie, if I look at my left, I look at my right, nothing is happening so much. This time we were in Sweden. And I took the car keys. I said, Charlie, I'm going. Get to the car. And then God said, after all your sacrifices and your hard work for the kingdom, now you are going to collect points. That was the message God gave me in front of it, and beside the car. I'm about to open and go. And then I turned around and said, yeah, God, you're right. I went back. What happened? What happened? Yes. So, God said, I've sacrificed too much into His kingdom. And if I go now and start this job, it will take some many years for me. And I'll never come into my ministry, which is this. Mommy, look at me. I'll not say anything because you and this your God. Yes, I'll leave you alone. But she have come to believe my God. Yeah. So they are in the midst, and they have a direction, and then the wing. There's from the beginning of every ministry, there's going to be resistance. From the beginning of what? Every ministry, there's going to be resistance. Yeah, there's going to be some forces. Now, sometimes the forces are within you. The forces could be external or they could be internal, inside or outside. You can have, after you dealt with your own weaknesses, then you have people from outside that will fight you. I had people that were fighting me in this area for this ministry. The house opposite. Now they love this ministry. They love this ministry now, but from the beginning they were not happy. Even if a broom get missing in their house, or they come and stand in front of the gate. Kobi, are you sure one of your boys have not come to steal? They were against us so badly till fire fell into their house. And Ghana service, fire service couldn't come to say it is boys from this house who climbed the building and quenched the fire. From that day, when they started. Apostle, thank you once again. Don't worry. Oh, don't worry. There's more to come. There's more to come. Now, if nothing goes well, every Christmas we do parcels and we give to them. They are seeing the benefit of us now. Every organization from the beginning, you will have challenges. You will have resistance. My family said, oh, Cobi is mad. He's living with mad people. Crazy people. So no family comes to visit me. After many, many years, now when they are coming to visit me, they come with a reason. We are short of food. We want some food. The thing that you were fighting against, now it's going to feed you. If you stand your ground, if you will stand your ground, God will bless you in the same area where people doubted you. Yeah. Alaji here, 2 houses from this house. He will come and sit in front of the gate. After we've cooked rice, and then one cousin of mine, after we've cooked rice, me and the pastor will cook and we are going to share it in the kitchen. He will say, Taleba, you are going to give this food to these people that are cursed. Bring it, let me take some. And not that they are hungry, they just want to spoil the food. And my other cousin pour the stew on top of the rice and put his hand inside it in front of me. Mash it. And just took one and then I look at him and I say, God, that was our last money in this house. Our last money. I pray that God forgives him. Because the kind of poverty that hit him, after that thing, the kind of poverty that hit him, he had like 2 taxes, everything started breaking down. God released the devourer. Go and chase him. Scatter his things for putting my servant into that sad mood. Some people don't let them be sad. Be not the reason why some people become sad. There are some people that the covenant that God has with them is too strong. If you make them sad, their God will come after you. You wonder what have you done. And it doesn't matter whether they are popular pastors or common pastors. I've told you this story over and over. I went to a shop. Back then, I used to sell keyboards. When I'm coming down, I'll buy big keyboards, and then I will give it to the big shops. And then so they used to buy from me. A pastor was in the shop, and the way he saw that I was, talking about the keyboards with the managers and said, he said, oh, this guy will be, you know, inside. So the pastor came to me. He said, oh, Charlie, please. We just started a church and I think he wanted to buy some simple keyboard. So we want your advice on a simple keyboard for a church, a new beginning church. And I was too hot. So I said, Pastor, we are talking about keyboards for stage and studio and stuff, and you church, those one is okay, you can take it off those ones. And I turned around. I indirectly, what I did to this man of God, I told him that your ministry and the thing that you are going to do for the kingdom is rubbish. I deflated his hope. The moment I got home, I knew that I've offended God. Hell started raining on me. And everything that was happening, God was telling me, for the way you talk to that man. I have to leave Ghana that week. What? I've been looking for that man of God. I'm wondering how big he must be by now. But arrogance and foolishness didn't even make me look at his face well, so that today I can say, that's the man. I just brushed him to the side. Oh, God. And that was the biggest lesson. So now if a child even come to me, I will pay attention. Okay, I can give you that one. But I have to pay attention. Just for brushing him. His spirit went down like, God, I'm minding my business somewhere. You called me to church. Even these people, ordinary men, they see that church is not important. I've made a man of God walk in sorrow, in sadness, and God reigned on me. My organization in Sweden was attacked. My computers here in Ghana, the studios I was building, all of them were under attack. The moment I came from the town. Attack. And then the beauty of God is that when the attack comes, he said, it's because of the way you spoke to that man. He's a nobody in your eyes. If it was Bishop TDJs, or maybe Archbishop, or Otabel, your hands will be at your back. But me, I see my sons equal. So if you disappoint the one that is not popular, and you honor the one that is popular, I will judge you. I will bash you because all of them are my children. They don't have to be popular in your eyes before you respect them. And as a matter of fact, the ones that are popular, God says that they are abomination to him. Anything that men exalt or anything that gets worldly praise is God don't see. The genuinity, the people that are genuine, is the people that are nobodies in your eyes, and then they are seeking God. They are doing it genuinely. There are things that Otabel will not say. There are things that Archbishop will not say. There are things that these big ones will not say. You look at Benny Hinn, after all these years preaching about prosperity, and then later he got the revelation that prosperity message is not the message that needs to be preached, but salvation message. After building empires, having all this money, buying private jets and everything, then later he comes, I'm canceling all my prosperity messages. The whole world was like, what? I gave you money based on the prosperity message we were preaching. Are you get what I'm saying? A lot of people have issues with that. Are you get what I'm saying? But there will be somebody who is not popular, that is genuine, and is preaching messages that cuts the heart. Next one.
About the fourth watch of the night, he comments on the dead.
You know the Jewish time. The first watch is 12 midnight. Second watch, 3 hours. Every watch is additional 3 hours. That's the Jewish time. So when you're using King James and you come across the fourth watch, that means 3 times 4. Counting from 12 o'clock, midnight. So the first watch, from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock is what?
1 hour.
First watch. 3 to 6 is what? 6 to 9. 9 to 12. Okay, so now you know that one. Okay, so go on. At the fourth watch,
Walking upon the sea.
So at the fourth watch, they saw somebody walking on top of the sea. After you've persisted through your cravings, the force that was against them is cravings. You are called to be a man of God, but you want to go and hit rock one more time. If you persist through that, then you will see the Lord walking on top of the sea. Now what? So Jesus was walking on top of the sea, and this is the second place that Jesus performed as now. I'll get your attention, please. Jesus was Azan there. He acted like he would pass by them. Did I put it there? Did you read it? They saw him walking on the sea. And then he acted like he was not coming to them. It's an act. The original plan is, let me see whether these people can continue in their ministry without me. And then what did they do?
But when they saw him walking upon the sea, they supposed it had been a spirit.
They thought that it's a ghost. If they have recognized that it's Jesus, Jesus will be okay. But they were panicking, they were thinking it's a ghost, so Kakai.
But when they saw him walking on the sea, they thought it was a ghost.
They thought it was someone.
Right out.
So how can you, being on the sea, you see, the thing is that they are seeing something that they are not used to. You are seeing a man walk on the sea, on top of the sea, not swimming. And he's confident. is very relaxed. So they thought that this must be a ghost. It's only ghosts that can do that. So they thought what? What did they do?
They thought it was a ghost that cried out.
They cried out.
So they all saw him.
For they all saw him.
And were terrified.
So it wasn't just some people, but everybody's eyes were open to see, and they were afraid.
But immediately he spoke to them and said,
And then he opened his mouth and told them that it is I.
Have no fear.
Have no fear. So the voice of the Lord will bring you peace.
Amen.
You didn't get that one. When you are in turmoil, you are shaking, there's trouble. All you need is to hear the voice of the Lord. When this place caught fire, what calmed me down is the voice of God that I heard at the entrance, at the gates. He said, I needed to force you to build bigger. So this is it. And God don't talk too much. Are you with me? God don't talk plenty. You need to analyze what you heard from God. God said, I need to force you to build bigger. So that means there's provision to build. So that means when it comes to building, I will help you to build. You don't have to worry. All you need to do is to take the pickers and hit the floor. And the work will be done. Why? Because God has been telling me, the time the building was here, the old building, God was telling me, break this thing down. I told them in the office. Those days were correct. These days they are not correct. They don't have morning briefings. Back then we used to have briefings, and then I will tell them what God is saying. When I came from the UK, I told the child, guys, God wants us to break this building, the old building. Every time when I'm doing morning devotion, when I finish and I'm leaving, God is saying, hey, so when are you going to break this building? I say, God, wait. Mimo, the man, is telling God to wait. Because I felt like the rooms were okay. We had about, those days our numbers were like 80 something. And 60 was inside the building. Divided, AC, everything. So why should I demolish a building that is functioning? It was difficult for me, you know. But you have to obey God. God said, break the thing down. And then I was telling God, God, I want to have plenty money before I can start. Because I said, do it. So God said, you will not do it. All right. I love the people that are coming more than you. Remember, Jesus loved his people. Eh? Yeah. But God loves the people more than the Jesus that has power to rise again. I need to put it in a better way that you can understand. The people you are sent to, they are more important than you. That can help you a bit. The people that God has sent you to go and deliver. If you were so important, God would have only kept you. But the people are important because you are going to deliver thousands. That will do greater works than you, the one. So who will you choose? So that's why Isaiah said, he that spare not his son. Spare, do you understand the word spare? Yeah. All of you gone to school plenty. He didn't spare his son. That means the people that Jesus came to die for, God loves them more than Jesus. They don't agree. They don't agree. Will you save people with your son that you don't love? You must have more love for the people than your son. He that spared not his son, but gave him up for us to be saved. So that you look at it and wow, God. So you mean he loved me more than Jesus Christ? He did not protect his son. Gave him up. So that we will be saved. So if you go before God, God will tell you that if that's your question, He will say, look, I love you even more than Jesus Christ. That's why I gave Him up for you. So now it's going to affect your prayer. And always remember what I taught you, that your life, the glory that comes out of you is to please God the Father. It is not to please Jesus. Jesus came to teach you the way to please God the Father. Everything that Jesus did, He did it for the Father. He said, I'm doing this that the Father will be glorified in the Son. So you too, you are going to do things that the Father is going to be glorified in you. So He says that, the Bible says that, so let your righteousness show or shine before all men, so that they can give glory unto who? Your Father, which is where? In heaven. So everything that is going to happen to you, God is the one getting the glory. Jesus is your teacher. He's the rabbi. He said, call no man a rabbi, because I'm the only rabbi. Have you read that Bible verse before? Call no man your spiritual father, because I am your father. Because God is your father. God. Isn't it Bible? Call no man. But today we go up and down, spiritual father, spiritual father. Fine, God can allow our ignorance to go away. You can be ignorant. All right. Call no man your father upon this earth. One is your Father which is in heaven. And Jesus was on the earth. And He's telling them, don't call nobody on this earth your Father. So if Jesus Christ, the greatest teacher, He's telling them, don't call anybody your Father, and he's including Himself, don't call me your Father, then you have all men come up after 2,000 years and they say, you are talking to me like that? Me, your spiritual, I fathered you. How? How do you father me? I fathered you. And this ignorance is so strong in Africa. African pastors see themselves to be God. The message we are preaching to you is not our message. It's from Jesus Christ. And He said that don't call nobody your father. Your spiritual father. But you have one Father. And He is everything you should think of. It's in God. And then that is why I tell you that a lot of mistakes that we do, one of these is, I'll preach this one to you, where Jesus also said that you don't support your parents. Some of you, you've given to your pastors more than you've given to your father. The amount of money you've given to your church or to your pastor, not even a quarter has gone to your biological father. Huh? The amount of money you've given, church this, church that, church building project, pastor car, you are buying pastor contribution to, whilst your father is still taking trotro. Your father is still taking trotro. I'm not against giving. I'm a giver. But you must always compare that if I'm giving this, our pastor's birthday, some of you go nuts just because they are celebrating your pastor's birthday. I'm not saying dishonor your pastor. But what I'm saying that if you are doing this for the man who is repeating the message that Jesus gave us all in the Bible to you, but the biological father that have toiled, suffered, there are things that your father has to stop doing because of you. Things that your father wanted to buy, he couldn't buy for himself because of you. And then you grow up, and then you go about honoring all the, I'm honoring my spiritual father, so I'll go to heaven. You are a fool. It's true. I have to teach you this. One of these is I'll teach you that. So Jesus told them that you have told the people that it's Korban. Korban means that the promise, the vow that I've given unto the church. So they are doing church service. They say, how many of you will buy 20 chairs? And then when you lift up your hands, that is Korban. That means the promise, the vow, or you vow to produce this. So when your parents come to you, and the money that you're supposed to support your parents with, you say that, Mommy, Daddy, this money I wanted to give to you, but I've already pledged at church, so I can't. Your operation, you have to go and die. And you will watch and then they will leave supporting their parents with physical money, and then they will go to the church and pray from the church that God should heal their father and their mother. And then the worst part of it is that they will go to the church, the pastor, please, my mother is sick. My mother needed money for operation, but because I vowed, I trust the Lord that with this money, the healing will come from my mother. It's wrong. It is in your Bible. And which pastor will preach this one? No. They should preach this one so that you don't bring it. No. You can only hear it over here. And I have confidence to say it because it's in the Word. It's right there. Open it, study it, case closed. Upon all the pastors have said, the day I bought all the things that my father needed for me, the air conditioner, the television, and I went and put it down. I said, Daddy, this is for you. And he said, Son, come. And I knelt down and he laid his hand upon me. The breakthrough that came after that, all my pastors have said, all together with their prayers, quarter of it, I never saw that in my life. After that prayer, that's where I could get married. After that prayer, that's where I started seeing money. After that prayer, under the mango tree in my father's house, he was not even wearing shirts. Bare chested, sitting under his mango tree, and I brought those things. And I knelt down and I said, I want to obey this Bible verse. I'm quick to, when they say we want to change air conditions in this church, everybody contribution, I'll run, bang, bang, bang. But my father is in the heat. He sits under a mango tree, the mosquitoes are biting him. I say, no, this is an error. It's an error. It's an error. When I did that, he poured oil on my head when I went back to Sweden. When God blesses, they say, because of it, honored your father. You've honored your father. So spiritual fathers, I'm okay with them. I honor them. I give them offerings. I do it. Archbishop, I go. Give me more. But I must make sure that I'm taking care of my biological father. Because if he wasn't for him, I will not be alive for me to even become a spiritual servant if there be anything. And this is for some of you. You always get your pay. You've never taken some and say, oh, this one we say, but you are quick to pay your tithes in church. Have you given anything? Daddy, this is for you. This is for you. One of my uncles told us a story. He said, do you know why your mother is blessed? He said, my grandfather had 4 wives and some concubines on the side. But of all the children, he said they all agreed that the reason why my mother's children are outstanding is because when she became a teacher, her first full pay, she took everything and gave it to her father. Her father looked, oh, wow, of all the plenty children I have, you brought all this money to me, your full pay. And he called all the children. The drunkard, this is my great grandfather. Drunkard, if you drink more than him. Drunkard. They called all the children and they told them what Vivian, my mother, has done. And pronounced blessings over her. So they remembered after the death of my mom. They said, the reason why we are blessed, this is the sacrifice your mother did. Honored her father. Have you honored your father? Your biological. So you are here, you hate your father. You don't even talk to your father. There was a guy working in the office. at the office here. And I saw that the guy, his behavior towards me, he was not rude, he wasn't disrespectful, but I saw that accountability was a problem. Yeah. So I was like, King, how is your relationship with your father? The guy changed. See, also that man, I don't know how. I don't even want to say, now I see what a brother is. Oh, you don't have a good relationship with your father. Okay. So he gets angry. He's a very brilliant guy, smart, intelligent. So I put some dollars in the envelope. I said, take this one. Go and look for your father. Give it to him. And your father should pray for you. Say, Apostle, this one look for you. The guy made sure that thing never happened. So he stopped the way. No matter what they have done to you, that is honor them. I've told you, blessings are not in the mouth of mothers. They are in the mouth of fathers. Alright? They are in the mouth of fathers. So one of your first transformation is you'll begin now to be looking for your father and you'll be asking for his blessing. If you want to surpass the level that he reached, if you want to exceed that level. This Sunday, we all went to our father, had a prayer meeting. Some of us wanted to do party. I said, forget about parties. And all of them, you can do parties in your house. By God's grace, all of you have money, so everybody do party in your house. But when we went, our father was sitting there and I told everybody, take up money, put it at the feet of daddy, and let him lay his hands upon you and pray. And that's what we did this Sunday. At my father's place. And he laid his hand upon everybody. Pray for everybody. For everybody. This is what the Old Testament, this is what they practiced, and that's what brought them success. And now we've twisted and turned everything to spiritual fathers, and now we are rejecting our fathers, and we are chasing some fathers, strange fathers. So have a good relationship with your father. Because if you have a bad relationship with your father, you are going to have a bad relationship with God. You have a bad relationship with your boss. Some of you can never honor me because you have a bad relationship with your father. So you might do full face service or lip service, but in your heart you hate me. It's not you, it's the demon that helped you to hate your father. That's the same demon that will never let you see any good thing in me. And that's how you're right. How's your relationship with your father? So, as a woman, if your relationship with your father is bad, you are going to have a bad marriage. But you wouldn't know how to honor. You will never know. When you are going to honor a man, you feel degraded. You will feel what? Degraded. You feel like, why should I humble myself? It's because you don't have a good relationship with the head. The reason why marriages are suffering is because the girls, they don't have good relationship with their fathers. If you look at Jane, you can see that she'll be a very good wife. Can't you sense that if you have Jane as your wife, I mean, forget about everything. Forget about Apostle's gang and everything. Like, can you imagine you having Jane as your wife? Can't you see that she'll be a very good wife? Ask her. She has a very good relationship with his father, with her father. She has a father. So, for her to humble herself, to be submissive, so I'm giving you another trick. One of these is I have to take offering from all of you. I've seen that all of you have money. But all these tricks, these techniques I'm giving you, you shouldn't come cheap. When you are going to, when you are doing courtship, you are meeting your woman, ask her, oh, so how is your father? That's your father. If she's excited about her father, you are safe. But don't tell her. Let it be in your head. You alone know that you are safe. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, Alice, how is your relationship with your father? Very good. Before I even ask her, you know that Alice, if you get Alice, in spite of my beatings and everything I'll do to you, if you should get Alice as your wife, you know you are safe. How many of you would love Alice to be your wife? Show by hand, show by hand. Yeah. I see 20 hands. I see 20 hands. Even though he didn't lift it up physically, I saw it spiritually. Spiritual hands were like, oh, apostle, me. So good relationship with your fathers help you to trust God. A lot of you can never trust God to come into ministry because you've never trusted a man that is your father, somebody who is ahead of you. So have a good relationship with your father. I'm not saying disrespect your mother. Mothers will never cut their children off. Good mothers. Fathers can reject a child and it become a curse. The father can be in a house and the father can tell you which child will be successful. Fathers know. It's not a secret to them. They've monitored all these dwarfs since they were children. And the father walks away knowing what I wear for a AC, Kofi of our Subai, and he walks away. Wow, there was a boy, he knew Kasa, or Unti, boy, Alex, Unti, he threw me in the bar. The father sees it all. One or two put it together and say, this one, they need mercy. This one needs grace. So listen, sit down and reminisce on some of the comments your father gave about you to help you. Some of the things your father have been saying, write them down somewhere, mark them, and examine yourself and see that each one of these things. My father used to say this. I need to check myself. Father is not telling you because he wants something from you. If you look at successful people, what happens to successful people, and maybe their ways are not pleasing their father stays away from them. I don't know whether, certain things are not important for you. Mothers, they will go to the child who is selling drugs, and she will still be supportive. But if the father knows that the son is selling drugs, it's my son, but I got it. He will sit at the side. If the son brings a car, son, it's okay, go and use your mother. She likes everything you do. It's not your problem. It's not your fault. You have one father, which is God. Yeah. My mother raised me. My father didn't raise me. So it was difficult for me to forgive my father. And then God said, haven't I been more than a father to you? So then I got healed. Then I was able to now to humble myself and went to my father and said, Daddy, it's okay. I'm your son. But I felt like it was not there for me. But his absence was a blessing for me. Because it taught me hard life. It taught me to be tough. His absence helped me. There are things that I believe my juniors, my brothers, my siblings, my step siblings, there are things that they can see that I do it with ease. And they senior brother, how do you do these things? You have some confidence. It's the street that taught me that. Yeah, the absence of father will teach you certain things. Going where your mother said this man is your father, and you go and knock the door, and you have an idea of how a father should relate to you, and you want that man to relate to you that way, and the man looks at you and says, listen, because you were a very sorry kid and you were depressed, your mother asked me to play like your father. I'm not your father. Get out. Go home. I'm not your father. Those kind of comments, it will mold you. It will help you. When a full grown man can look at the child and say, I'm not your father. Don't take your hopes too hard. Don't hope for any big thing. They are bringing the young boy's hope down. Can you imagine? Not one. About 2, 3 men. My mother did that. Say, this boy is looking for a father. But the father is not around. The father is not willing. So can you take him as your son for that? He's always crying after his father. And then from the beginning, out of your nice courtesy, they say, come here, anytime come to my house, I'm your father. I'll look at him, What? You're my father? Thank God. Early morning, I'm there. I'm there with my Coleco toy, with my nose running. And I'll come and stand there. I'm ready to play like what I've seen on television. Children playing with their fathers. And then when it gets too much, you are too attached. I'm not your father. No. Can you imagine what I've gone through? How my hopes get up and then my hopes get demolished. So, sometimes a woman will tell me, I love you, but you don't show feelings. I said, I don't show feelings because my hopes have been destroyed so many times. So it will take some time. Yeah. Because when I went close to a man, I want to show feelings. Daddy. It crushed me down. So now I started growing. The guy became cold. So the woman said, I love you. The woman is expecting for you to respond. Yeah, I'm working on that. I'll get there. Where you are, I'll get there. I'll get there. It has nothing to do with handsomeness. It's me. I'm a destroyed child. You will help me. Your love will help me to get there. It's not my fault. My whole world was scattered. You wake up in the morning, just leave a room, and then you're on your own on the streets. How to survive? Like a salam down. Close to set where every bad thing is happening. So you can see that the person you are seeing today is the grace of God. It's a pure grace of God. Some people would have committed suicide, they would have destroyed themselves long time ago. But God helped me. God helped me. Where did you reach in our group? Just read that verse again.
For they also in the word of God.
Yeah.
And we talk with them and said unto them, be of good cheer, it is I.
Be happy. Be happy, it is I. So the voice of the Lord will bring you joy. Yeah. Look for the voice of the Lord. So keep that one for tomorrow. When you are in trouble, the real message of today was supposed to be the next verse. But they will stone me. Today is what day is it? Tuesday. It's a fasting day. Since it's a fasting day, let me add that one. But let me tell you this. Seek for the voice of God in every trouble that you face. Don't be quick to go and seek the voice of men. Learn it here. Because here the risk is not that high. Let me find a way to explain it. When you step outside and you don't know the voice of God, your business you'll be doing, if you are always depending on the advice of men, you will crash. But if over here you develop the voice of God, how to depend on the voice of God, you will make it. So when you step outside, you will know his voice. God said he didn't get it. They didn't get it. Then Father, help me to explain it in a way that they will get it. Knowing the voice of God. Depending on the voice of God. Waiting to know. So there are things that it will look right in your sight. But if you have not confronted God or gone to see God and talk to God and God, should I go and do this thing that they are saying that we should do? That's why the construction people, they are struggling with me. Because they can see a good plan. But when I go to God and I'm talking to God, God says it's not a good plan. Change it to this. That's why you see me and Tintin always fighting. I'm telling him the mind of God. And then he is telling me the technicalities. What is experience. What he has been doing for the past 30 years. Your 30 years experience with God experience. Yeah. So then later on, sometime later on, when after I've shown him the mind of God, then I said, hey, what's yours? When I'm right, they don't say it. They just do it. But when they are right, they will make noise. So that they will know, because for once they are right. But learn the voice of God here, because the risk is not that big. I mean, what is the voice of God? Over here. Maybe you want to sleep here, where Ebenezer is sleeping. Then God said, no, don't sleep there. Go and sleep at this side. You're like, ah! That side, there's some funny guy over there. So you don't listen to the voice of God. You decide to go and listen to your feelings. Or you want to be attached to Ebenezer. So you, and then later on you realize that now somebody has taken that bed. Then you realize that something good was there. So this is the place that the small things, when you are going to take your bowl, table. I don't know how they do that. They hand over to you there. You hand over the food to them. Or you leave it on the table and they pick it up themselves. They hand over. Yeah, very soon, let them take it themselves. Let them practice the voice of God. So that when you are going, Father, lead me on the path of righteousness. Help me to choose which bowl is good for me. And then now you see God will say, the pink bowl. Pick the pink bowl. Learn the voice. You start it very small, with small things. Chantal will tell her, hey, Charlie, let's go and buy credit. Go, follow me, let's go and buy credit. And then listen, God, should I go with Chantal? Everything, ask God. God, should I go with Chantal? If you hear no. Because after going out with Chantal, one of the demons that are waiting behind the gate, then you tell them, tomorrow morning I'll meet you behind the gate. Not in the front. I'll meet you at the back here. But if you didn't have gone out. And there will be times that God will say, oh, feel free, go. I will teach you something on the road. Are you getting what I'm saying? We don't have time. Like I will share some stuff. So you said something there that I want to share.
Then you went,
No, don't. Read that thing.
He talked with them and said to them, be of good cheer. It is I. Do not be afraid.
So cheer up in God. Don't cheer up because you have money. Do you know that when you have 50 Ghana cedis and something is happening in the house, and even you are sad, because you have 50 Ghana cedis, there's a way you can cheer yourself up. But when they get you, my crap and we 15 and we want to talking. So your hope is built on the 50 Ghana cedis. But don't cheer up in the 50 Ghana cedis, but cheer up in God. It is easy for a man to relapse. It is easy for a man to disrespect God because they have something small. Another thing that you should add to the list that we've been working on, Isaac. What is our number now? Pride. And I want us to finish the 12 steps, the 12 signs. We will write the book before Noah will come from Takrady. I even want us to print it before he will come. When he comes, we'll give him one. Take this, read it for yourself. Are you guys what I'm saying? Yes, so number 9, pride. Even the look of it. So pride. And even the look of it. Pride. Even the look. Do you have pride in it? He's supposed to tell us that we have pride. I don't remember mentioning. We don't have pride. Yeah. Self-entitlement is different from pride. Yeah. So now we are 10, yeah? 9. Now we are 9. Okay. So far, create a committee. You have 5 people. that you can sit down and then you work on it. So by this time, you should be writing small. Do another one. The mark is good. You can use mark. So let's do that, so that we can finish the book and start printing it. All right. What did you say?
He talked with them and said to them, be of good cheer, I do not be afraid.
Yeah, so I've explained to you that don't share up because of your money or because of your position. Some people, they are dull in this house until they become leader of the house. They share up in the leadership. After all, I'm the leader of the house, so now I will stay. That's why sometimes we used to give leadership positions to people who wants to leave. They want to leave. We make them leaders. Okay, you are the leader of the house. We will know what to do already. So you let the leadership thing control your mind. And then before you realize they are happy, they feel important. They are cheering up in the leadership. So share up. Somebody will say, well, chosen is difficult, but I have provision. So the provision is what is making you happy. So you are cheering up at the provision. So if there's no provision, you will be a sad, miserable person. If there's no provision, you will be sad. Somebody can cheer up in a woman. Oklu cheered up in a woman. When he was carrying the woman away, he cheered up. When Apostle said, Oklu, come to Achimota, leave the woman. He said, come. Apostle, no, sir. This woman will do everything for me. Some people cheer up in the phone. Malam cheered up in the phone. I sent it to Takradi. And God saw that he was cheering up in the phone. The phone, you see, there are some of these leaders who they will use their phone to flex. So when you come, you know, see the thing at the go yourself. They are cheering up in their phones. So when he was cheering up in the phone, Takradi, and the spirit of theft came upon somebody, and God allowed that nobody's phone should be stolen by his phone, because there was a curse upon the phone. And the phone was taken away. And when the phone was stolen, then he packed and he left. There's no need for me to be a chosen if I don't have a phone. So be careful what you are sharing up in. The thing that is motivating you. So that means God is saying that you don't love me, you love the phone. Are you with me? So don't share up in position, in money, in this, in that. Just share up because God is with you. When you hear the voice of God, any trouble I'm going through, if I can hear God's voice, I'm cool. If I can hear his voice, I'm okay. Yeah, that's it. Sometimes I go the local way. Yeah. So you can idolize something. Yeah. And that can make you take your eyes upward. People that are in the ghetto, they are idol worshippers. Do you want me to explain it? This one you should know. They will not bath. They will not eat. All their mind is on the idol, the drugs. And whilst their body is falling apart, their health is falling apart. Look at yesterday. This woman will be coming to the back here, coming to collect food, and she knows that the rehab is here. She will not stop and come so that she can be assisted. Then she falls sick. She ended up at NK Sala. Then she sends people to come to the gates here to come and tell me that if I don't come and see her, she will die. So yesterday I had to send this Miguel and all of them. Miguel and who? Was it Samson? Yeah. Oh, they went. Let me see her. You smoke, you make one, now you fall sick. Apostle, come. If not, I will die. Hey, this ministry is powerful. Eh? And the urgency she used is send people to come to the gate. Eh? So we asked the clinic, so the bill is 600 and something. So we said, okay, no problem. We will clear it off. So she can move. You just smoke your thing. When they beg you, make you stop. You don't stop, you go catch secret. Now, that's another bill for apostle. That's why you should pray for long life from you. You don't know when you will need me. It wasn't long ago, one worker who was with us, and a guy, one of the guys in the center, took the girl. She was a cook, yes, she was a cook. It's like 12 years ago. She was cooking for the house. And one of the guys who always go to the kitchen to help, hey, Vanessa, young girl like you. Hey. Vanessa says she's tired. She's too young to be tired. You are going to be carrying babies. Are you ready? So, this guy hooked this girl up. And then they started. And because I was against that, the guy got angry at me. The woman too got angry at me. She quit the job. She left. They went to go and stay at Hacho. Even though they quit it, they asked me for a place. I said, okay, go to Hacho. So they were on Hacho land. Our Hacho. They were there. I left them there. They've given birth to 3 children now. And still, their relationship with me is bad. But remember, they say it's possible. Be at peace with one man. Anything you say, I don't have a problem. Then, with all the insults from the guy is number one insult. You don't know apostle. Obey Jesus, good. He tell you, yeah. Sometimes I always forget that Richard is one. Richard has been at Chosen for like 14 years. Yeah. Yeah. He has been here. So he's the old prophet. He's the old prophet. Today, that's the Chosen side. Today is fasting. Like if you are frying egg, you should fry 3 for him. Instead of frying one for everybody, but when he gets in, just give him 3. But he's an old guru. He's just like he's not a talkative. He's very reserved. He's very quiet. But the time he was here, Ebenezer was in diapers. Oh, I'll show you Ebenezer picture. You will run. No, I'll show you Ebenezer picture. But Yaya too, he doesn't grow old. So he's young. But Yaya knows when Ebenezer was like, he'll poo on himself and he's walking around. Small boy. Adakuma. Yeah. Chosen. When God wakes up, he says, hey, this is my place. God loves the place. So I don't know what happened. She just came not too many months ago that they have to go and do operation. The head. And then Satan was like, are you going to help these people that have been so rude to you? They've been so like joke. It cost us almost how much? And then it wasn't 11,000. That's 110 million. The old Ghana says. You have to just give it to somebody who you know in your heart, they hate your guts for her to be operated. And then the worst part of it is that there was no operation. No operation. After the show, no operation. But what you have released, there you go. God will find another. You have to use it as a praise the Lord. That's life, that's life. It's a lot of money. Into the hands of people that you know they hate your guts. This is life. And for who are you doing it? Are you doing it? If you are doing it for God, then God must reward you. Yes. You must know that your God is big. God is big. So that's life. So learn to be giving, learn to be forgiving, learn to, sacrifice. You have to sacrifice. Always you have to sacrifice. So when you look at all these sacrifices, you can't quit.